Greetings and salutations, I'm Ben. Welcome to Canucks with Guitars. That's Trev, that's Terry. We're presented by LPD Pedals, Reno Fin Custom Guitars, Tesi Switch, FU Tone, PTM Guitars, our preferred American retailers, Flipside Music, and our preferred Canadian retailers, Ardens Music. Go team.
I just realized that we both had the Flipside Music shirts on.
We do. We do. I did not wash mine with my Reds. Who do we got in the chat? We've already got 17 people here. We've got Ferd Burfel. We've got Joe Hervey 84. We got Guitar Man 45. Hip Metalworks. GP Page 2. Who else? Gear Junkie 35. Josh Tanberg. Hip Metalworks again. Gear Junkie 35 again. Joe Hervey 84 again. Josh again. Ferd. Josh. Ferd. Billy Baloney. Josh. John Gregory. Welcome. I think that's a new name, or welcome back. Superfan Gary Davlin. He was first in the chat damn near 2 hours ago, which is about the time I made the thing. Yeah, we coordinated outfits. My people called his people, and then they coordinated. Trev's people said, we cannot help out with this situation, so we're going to have to talk to the Flipside boys about that to get Trev a care package or something. Jesus Christ.
Yeah.
Cushman NYC. LRM Guitars. Awesome. Jonathan McCullough. I think that's another new name in the chat. Welcome or welcome back. Because, again, I don't have the best memory in life because hashtag lifestyle choices.
I do think McCullough's in.
Speaking of which, I have the pasties tonight. Keith H. knows what I'm talking about. Oh, yeah. Apparently, it's new guitar day for Joe Hervey. About 3 hours ago. John Shane's alive. He survived another weekend.
Right on.
I'm neither surprised nor unsurprised. I'm just glad. We like John. Missed John on the Zoom call on Saturday. He was busy.
Yeah, you're right.
He'll show up twice in a chat because he'll slip outside for darts. What's up, Michael Easter? Been a while. It has. Great to see you, my PEI friend. Question for the proud residents of Canuckistan. Any of you proud residents of Canada have any history with Mayfly pedals in Ottawa? Why does that ring a bell?
Mayfly sounds familiar, but as far as a pedal maker, no clue. Never heard of them until somebody mentioned it now.
With one word. Right. There we are. Why do I know these guys?
Mayfly.
Bear with me, folks. The Sketchy Zebra. That sounds cool. Oh, they got one with girls on it. What's that? My Evil Twin. Ooh.
They got the Sketchy
Delay with modulation. Okay, the Sketchy Zebra or Zebra is a phase shifter. Really? Flat Earth compressor. Nice. Bytown boost. Sure. Open window, transparent overdrive. I like these names. The dirty window, which is, it's also transparent. How is it transparent if it's dirty? Should be the clean window. Guitar amplifiers, hand point-to-point wired. Ooh, that looks like a Fender style amp. They run between $1,500 to $2,000. That's fine. Mayfly Audio Systems, Ottawa, Canada. Huh. Audiophile loudspeakers. Wow, they got all kinds of stuff. No, we're going to leave that tab open for later perusal. BCH 581. I was not aware. Way to out-Canuck us, 3 Canucks. Because we're not knowing. We're shrugging about this company. And he's like, well, I know about them. Why don't you? Charles would just have a meltdown if it was a Zoom call. He's like, how do you know what it? Exactly. I don't know.
Well, apparently, DMAC says
Randy Crooks.
Lauzon Music sells them.
Nice. What's up, DMAC? Melon Husk.
Some kind of
Zach Thong.
Hey, Zach.
Nice. How you feeling, Zach? Let's see here. There we go. Joe Hervey asks, sanding sponge for fret ends. I tape the frets, boards. I have a little tool. I can roll the ends. Any advice you want to add? I cover the pickups. Thank you. All right. So I assume by sanding sponge, you mean like a microfiber cloth?
No, I think he's talking about a sanding.
It means one of those things that it's a sponge, and then they got like a sanding surface on the outside of them.
Correct.
Oh, I know those things. I have one of those, I think.
Yeah, I thought I did
used
too.
it.
I did, but it's not handy.
No, I would not
Um,
use it.
It's kind of
You really
like a
need.
fret eraser, I think, but softer, right?
Yeah,
And
no.
probably too coarse.
Yeah, no. The grit's too coarse. You really need a fret file or like a triple edge file, but you need the points to be smooth. So you can either just buy a cheap, well, not cheap, but buy a triple edge file.
Right?
Yeah, and then you can just grind on the points to save on the
That
edges.
one's got an edge. That one's smooth. That one's
Yeah.
got an edge. And that one's
Or
smooth.
the other option is to actually buy a fret file that has, like mine, which is a square file. It has 2 safe sides and 2 file sides.
But in regards to the sanding switch thing, I agree. It's very inconsistent as well in the grits,
And way
'Cause
too
the grits
rough.
are
It's
totally
just
different than.
It's just
sanding
you might
switches.
it'll just look like you rub gravel on the end of your frets.
And not to mention, it's very easy to make it bend too much, and then instead of keeping it straight, it might actually concave it or whatever. But
Yeah.
They're
Well, and
great
like I say,
for-
Joe, even if you had a 3-sided file, you would have to modify it before using it.
yeah,
You have to smooth the edge. Guitar Man 45 comments. I think I'm gonna get Charles a defibrillator for Christmas. Or defibrillator for Christmas. Yes.
Here's a triangle one. Now this one, I just made the edges safe, right?
Yeah.
yeah.
You got to smooth those edges where it comes to a point, Joe.
Just
So you're
lay
gonna
on
need
the
a
edge.
file for your file.
I used to
That guy
bag.
says
And a 4-bench grinder. So yes. Yeah, no sand block. John James says just a battery and jumper cables, Bo. Same thing. That's your 12-volt defibrillator. Hey, Paul Ewing. Good to see you, my man. Michael Crow snuck in here. Billy Baloney recommended Stew Mac and Cheese has an affordable file. I believe it when I see it.
I think I got this at Princess Auto.
Yeah,
It's nickel,
That's what I
which
was
it
just
was
gonna
probably
say.
like $5 or $6.
which
But
is
it's not
our
good.
version of Hobo Freight. So go to your local Hobo Freight and get yourself a file, and then you can just smooth off those
But
edges.
get the Nicholson one. Don't get the cheap, no-name Chinese crap.
I thought you snuck in, Michael Krause, much like Dwight Bailey. And see, Scott Brockway, he's right there. I see you. I'm here but lurking, playing my guitar because I finally changed my strings after a month.
Oh, there you go.
Only after a month.
That's
Well, does that mean you thought about changing the strings a month
Well-
ago? It took them to do it, or are they a
well.
month
The
old?
thing is, let's be honest. And Scott puts a lot of miles on because he has a main guitar. You know, he's not spreading the love over. He doesn't have the harem. Terry is what I'm saying.
Oh, yeah,
You know.
that's true.
Fewer spices in the cupboard?
So, title
Well,
of
speaking
the show: New Amp Day. Some of y'all already know, and some of y'all were quiet about already knowing. You know who I'm talking, right, Billy? Oh, StewMac file,
Billy.
18 and a quarter US. That's a good deal. That's a good deal.
Especially if you're in the U.S.
for the three-sided one, or is that for a fret?
No, that's a good deal, Terry, especially because it's a file under $20 from StewMac.
Yeah. Very
So-
true.
Huh? We missed Ferd during the call on Saturday, didn't we?
I don't think we saw them.
Yeah, I think we missed one. Don't recall him being there.
Yeah, you're right. He wasn't there.
Right. Hell, we barely had a Charles, so we were lucky. Yeah, had a shoestring and a prayer. All right, so I got to get up for this. Let's not kick the saxophone for a field goal. We'll just move that over there. Lifetime guarantee, I believe, from StewMac. Well, there's that.
Well, glad you're feeling better, Ferd.
Hey, Sassy Cat. Michael Krause for us Canucks. Just you can get them from Solo or the Jungle website.
Yeah. And meow, sassy
What-
cat.
Oh, jeez. Yeah, it's not that light. There we go. So a fella picked up one of these, folks.
Dun, dun, dun.
Da, 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 da. Can a fella zoom out? So, there we go. Now I'm going to come forward so you can hear me better. Hi, that's me. So this is a VHT, because it says up that right there. That's how you can tell it's a VHT. If you look closely at the front of the amp, a Special 6 Ultra. And I am getting a Long McQuaid smell from it, because that's where I picked it up from.
Still degassing.
Yeah, it's still degassing, de-L&Ming. Tube, 6 watts, with attenuation. It's got a high power, low power on top of that. So it's got all the flavors of power. You got a depth knob, which is like a resonance. You got a tone knob, which is like a tone. Look at that. There we go, kind of. We got a texture. Can a fella? How about if a fella does this? That did nothing. That means nothing. How about if I do that? Oh, that worked. There we are.
There you go.
Production, folks. Production. Tone. Yeah, textured. So that shelves some of the high end. You got, this is your clean volume for your clean channel, which if you pull out, boost situation, which you can turn on and off with the available foot switch, which did come with it. That was handy. You also have the Ultra input, which is basically a gain stage, so that's your dirty channel. Yeah, we missed BC Rich as well on Saturday. Just seeing people in the chat that are regulars on things. All right, so then if we flip her on around, not that way with the chair, they won't be able to see because of the back of the chair. Jesus. Oh, man. This is why you should never skip the production meetings, folks. All right, so you got your foot switch, you got a send and a return effects loop. Tube driven. That was confirmed. Because we had, what we did was, we were talking about this on the Zoom call on Saturday, folks, for instance. JP Page 2, he's our in-house amp technician, expert, phone a friend, if you will. And and between Trev and him with the schematics out, and they're looking it over and stuff, you got an impedance of 4, 8, or 16. Apparently it's on 16. Speaker outputs, got 2 of those, so we can run 2 extension cabs off her. I don't know how that would work, but sure. 112. We've got a couple 12AX7s in there. And then she's got the 6V6 flavored power section. So,
did you mention the hand wired thing? Apparently, it's pretty.
I didn't, but you just did.
All right.
So yeah, hand wired in China. Yeah.
Some things we don't have to say.
Yeah. I was on it already, so it's definitely looking
Sassy
used.
Cat had asked if it was a Fryette made amp.
I do believe so, or designed. He wouldn't have built it because. The commute to China, that's far. That's a long commute. That's what I'm saying.
Based off of his work, though.
Yes, yeah. I'm sure it's his designed. And you say, hey, do you got any fellows over there that can solder one of these together? And they said, yep. And you went, sweet. And you say, we got you. Oh, yeah. So a fella snagged on that because don't knock it into the classical guitar. Jesus. So I got that because I'm probably going to be going out and doing some jamming, and I didn't want to take a bigger, heavier amp. I wanted a lighter amp. Oh, there we go. That's better. And so I got a slightly smaller, slightly less heavy amp. So it's my first time playing with a VHT-shaped object. How does it sound? Good, great. I threw delay and reverb. What is it? I think this chair is from Walmart, to tell you the truth, Josh.
Yeah.
I wish the arms don't quite go back far enough for a fella. Does it take pedals? Well, so far, the only pedals I put through the front is I tried a couple different things in front of it, Terry, to push on it. Mm-hmm. And ironically enough, the pedal that worked for me the best
If that doesn't tell you something, then, you know,
Yeah.
it's a sign from
Well,
God.
that tells you if it's meant to be, it's meant to be then.
I don't know if it would push in stereo, Eddie. And hello to Eddie.
Yeah, 6 watts. Oh, well, I mean, I found that Bugera.
6 watts, Class A. It's loud. Even on the low
Yeah.
power setting, it gets pretty damn loud.
Yeah, and that's what I was saying when I had that Bugera V5.
Yeah,
Or whatever
I
it
would
was.
plug it, but it would sound all compressed and nasty. Hey, Martin Lemaire. I haven't tried it into a 412 cab. I do have a 412 cab back there, a 4 ohm 412 cab. So I would just have, I assume I would disconnect the internal speaker and then just use the extension out, I would assume. I just picked it up. When did I get that thing? Friday? Thursday? Friday? I don't remember. Thursday.
Yeah, Thursday. Because you posted up on Facebook and that.
Yeah, I do not know if it'll chug, but I'm thinking if you put the right gain pedal in front of it, it would definitely chug. Thomas Santiago carpooled in with Brad Miller. So, yeah, and the attenuator, it's not a clicker. It's a smooth transition, so you can set to whatever wattage.
Whatever tickles your fancy.
Yeah.
Like,
And we figured
like
it's kind of a champ. It's a champ style circuit.
Yeah, that's what I was
determined.
saying. It reminds me of a tweaked out champ.
Yeah. So yeah, works well. It's going to serve a purpose well. Because, you know, I did the thing. I did the thing, Trev. Like, imagine you're working in a music store, right? I come in.
Yep.
I'm like, here's the deal. I need an amp. I did not specify a tube amp. I said I need an amp that's light and loud enough to keep up with the drummer. That's cheap. And you're thinking, okay, those amps do exist, but they don't sound that great, and you're not going to like it. So what do you sell, right? What do you do? And I was hoping to find like a used Tone Master maybe, because they're fairly light. And, you know, maybe the Princeton might keep up with the drummer if he's not too aggressive. And instead, he's like, come here. He's like, are you familiar with VHT? And I said, marginally. You know, I know of them. And he says, well, you play a telly, right? And I said, yes. So he grabbed a telly off the wall. He plugged it in and started turning knobs. And I kind of walked around so I could hear it from different angles and volumes, and I start twisting on knobs, and I went, let's do this. Eddie, yes, there is a bunch of amps behind me. Most of them are heavier, or some don't work. The Vox, that's just a 112 cab, which weighs damn near as much as that. To go with the Vox Pathfinder, which is now just a head. And I was trying to keep compact. So that's why I'm doing a small board. 4 pedals, Terry. 4 pedals on the pedal board, but yet 4 cable method. So 4 pedals, 4 cables. Yeah, it's pretentious. 2 pedals go into the front end, and 2 pedals go in the loop.
No, that's right. I mean,
yeah.
Time and modulation based effects in the
Blues
loop.
Deluxe weighs probably 10, 15 pounds more than the VHT. PV Classic definitely weighs more. It's a 212.
Oh, God.
The 412, enough said. The Garnet 312 isn't wired up to work. The 215's empty. That's a 212. Solid state, but fucking heavy solid state 212. It weighs almost as much. The 112 not loud enough. Bass amp. 112 cab without a head loud enough. That was the other option. I was thinking maybe you got one of those Hughes and Kentner flavored things, Terry. You know, they have good solid state and they're loud, and they got a cab, so I was covered that. And that fucker's like, I don't know, 65, 70 pounds, the B52. So we're not even going to. It's got casters for a reason.
Yeah.
GPH2, 3 phasers and a nice drive, eh? Yeah. Actually, no phaser on the jam board. So, yeah. Put the PV212 on casters. I don't want to be lifting that and carrying it upstairs, and it's not a light amp. And it's old. I don't want to be driving around with vintage amps because rattling, Trev.
Yeah.
The rattling. Like that thing's so old that you got the 50-50 chance because it's got the off is in the center position of the power switch. So you got a 50-50 chance of electric digitals happening. And then you look underneath and it's old enough that the two speakers have square magnets on the speakers and not round magnets. Because, hashtag 70s. Speaking of hashtag 70s, brother Aaron from Elvis Band, who will be our guest this coming Sunday on the Sunday night hang. 2 drives, delay, and a reverb. Yeah, pretty much. Or possibly a chorus. I haven't decided. I haven't found a chorus I like through it yet. That's the key. I got to go through my different flavored chorus pedals to see if I find something I like going through it.
Not to mention, I
had Josh. I had I guess it'd be the micro, right? Because the mini's about the size of a lunchbox. So I had a micro dark.
Dark.
And it was a nice little amp.
Yeah.
It did the orange thing. Did it quite well. A little dark.
Yeah, it had nice. They had nice gain.
I haven't used the wah in quite some time, Melon Husk. I have one sitting right here, actually, because Trev and I were talking about wahs the other night. And I said, I should use mine. So I got as far as putting it next to the board.
Getting it in the line of sight.
I even have the patch cable ready to go. And this is, just it's just a what was. Original Crybaby model GCB 95 with a mod from LPD Pedals that I installed on it. So, I don't know what the mod does. It makes it more vocal sounding. I don't know. It just makes it sound better.
Halo reducer.
I don't know what I don't know, Harry. It was a little group of components. It looked like a spider, and I just held it over the circuit board, and I attached it at various points. So it bypassed stuff. I don't know. So
yeah, that's what it is.
Speaking of which, let's thank our patrons because they don't have Tukes next to the name in the chat, so they're harder to figure out. But they do get a shout out. They're a valuable part of the team here at canuckswithguitars.com/me. That's the website, or you can search my name. I want to shout out LRM Guitars, T. Ricky, Guitar Man 45, Cousin Todd Flowers, Doug Strong, Randy Crux, Mo Hogany, Fruitcake Tony, Blackjack Guitar, Keith H., Paul McNary, Other Left, Ferd Burful, JP Page 2, John ZD351, Brother Bent Tom, Jeff K, Grumpy Mike Guitar, Symmetry, Gear Junkie 35, Charles Green, unfucking believable, and Charles 75, who has been missing in action this evening or possibly lurking while buffing and wet sanding. What's up, Sean Hockey? Good to see you, my friend. What's that? Installing what?
Installing the buffer.
Nah. He'll just use a pair of vice grips, clamp it to his desk in the office.
I wonder why my computer's not running right. Have you been using your buffer? And, yeah.
It's just a layer of like the off-cut wax that flies off. It's just schmutz.
Oh, that'd be terrible to try to clean out of a computer. Oh my god.
So some of you, but not all of you, but some of you may have been tuned in to Pete Thorne yesterday. And I almost set up the chat to prove this, Terry. Almost, but I didn't. Because y'all would be busy. You'd be very busy, Terry, is what I'm saying, right?
No time for it.
So Pete got inundated with all the bots. And I had figured this out real time as, I'm doing my thing, and people are like, hey, thanks for doing that. I'm like, not a problem. And if I had time to type, not a problem, Terry. So my sister had noticed that when certain words are said in the chat, it'll trigger, okay? And so I'm sitting there, and Pete's, hey, I'm Pete Thorne, and I'm checking out wearing my cool sunglasses because he had found his sunglasses, and it was cool, and blah blah blah. And then there's one I thought was a troll, Terry. Okay, had just typed the same comment 3 or 4 times. Okay, and that comment was paid ad. And that opened up a storm of you can win that. You can. And, no, you can't. No, you can't.
Wow.
Nope. And then it was self-realizing, Terry, because the bots would come in, and normally they just flood it, but they don't say anything.
Mm-hmm.
They had a typed comment now, Terry. Paid ad, which was triggering more of them. I'm like, how about no? How about no? How no?
Hey, Dan.
No. Hey, Keith.
And Keith.
So yeah. So apparently, if you want us to have fun and report it back to us here next Monday. Okay, which is if you happen to be in a chat and you want to try something, type in paid ads and see 3 or 4 times in a row. Type it in 3 or 4 times and see what happens. So
it's interesting.
Yeah, and it was funny too. Of course, you got some people that are trying to help. So like, hey Ben, there's a spammer. I'm like, I am well aware. It's filling the chat.
That'd be worse too if they.
You can try it, John, but it won't work here because I have it set to subscriber only mode.
Yeah, they can't spam.
Yeah, so they can't spam. That's why we don't get the spammers here anymore. And that's why Steve doesn't.
I don't really know why you'd want to leave that off unless you were a glutton for punishment.
Well, the idea is you don't have it set. Like if you have it set to just open chat. The idea is if you discover us for the first time, you want to say, hey, what's going on? You can. You don't have to subscribe to the channel. You can just pop in and say
how. I'm
supposed
to subscribe, and even if it's just for a day. And after hanging out, it was like, oh, yeah, no, that was sour. I'm gonna.
Now, I had seen, you could always tell the channels that dealt with some, let's call it drama, Terry, on their channel, because you go on their channel, for instance, and you can't tell how many likes there are because, they've limited that feature because they've had issues with somebody. Something happened. Or I went into a chat once, and I was subscribed to them already, but it said you needed to be subscribed for an entire day. I went, wow, that's that's a bit of time.
There you go.
That's a bit of time. Other times it's like 30 seconds or a minute,
A couple minutes usually isn't too much to ask. Christopher Live Solid just snuck in.
What's up, Christopher?
That's okay, Keith. As long as you got back safe.
I think he's only back in New York. He still flies back to California tomorrow. Yes, because if Keith's flight is not delayed, folks, he will be joining Cousin Doug and I on Canucks talking about the season finale racing in the NASCAR season. If he gets back in time. So, excuse me. So there is that. We thank the patrons. Talked about that. I wanted to talk about that. I meant to bring this up with Steve last night, Terry. Because he knows he's smart. He's smart. And I would appreciate his opinion on that. But, again, based on lifestyle choices, I forgot. Yeah. So, Zach thought, okay, I totally misread that. He says, hey, Ben. Sup, Zach. There's a new Long and McQuaid location being built in Bowmanville. Well, yeah, because they already got one in every other town along there. But I thought at first it said new location in Belleville. I'm like, that one's not that old. And they finally just fixed the roof. Because I was in there the other day and it was raining. And there was no buckets strategically placed near gear. Yeah.
Well, Keith,
zero chance of Frettsboro in that Long McQuaid location. Jesus. That roof always leaks.
Not
Ooh.
necessarily humidity control.
I did not know that. And funny you mentioned that, since I just built a pedal board for 4 pedals. Really?
Yeah.
Yes. So,
Oh, nice.
fun fact, Terry. Fun fact. Show sponsor PTM Guitars has a small pedal board available that will handle 4 pedals. You can check out PTM Guitars, I believe, eBay store. Check out the link. I got a link down below too. Ben, write notes. Pfft. I watched the races under the influence. I watched the race first thing this morning. I vaguely remember what happened. I watched the truck race Friday night. So that's a long time in my brain.
Yeah, I have 4 pedals, but one of them's a double wide and a little tall with that DD20. So I guess it'd probably take
That trailer like that once, double wide and a little tall.
a few girls I know too. Good for girls.
I had a girlfriend like that too. Oh wait, I can do that. Is that no? I think that's a drum roll, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh
This
God,
way.
alcohol.
How wide was she? She was this wide.
He was so wide. He laughed.
Yeah.
Got to put it a little further from the microphone. It comes in pretty hot.
Oh, does it? Yeah. Well, we'll put it down here. Let's try it from here.
Oh, God. Yeah, that's a bit better.
Yeah.
Right on.
EVH tribute decals as well. PTMguitars@gmail.com. Got to catch up tonight and tomorrow with all the races, like Grand for example. Yes, you take note. Well, you know stuff, Keith. You're smart. You'll get it.
Yeah.
It'll be fun.
Yes, Brad Guitar Miller. Don't forget to put links to your
Ooh,
business.
excuse me. What? Speaking of which, is PTM also a moderator on this channel?
Yes, it is. And it
Oh, yeah,
was
there's the wrench.
It also just updated membership as well, not that long ago, or just like
Nice.
a few minutes back.
Nice. So what else we got going on? Any questions? It is live Q&A as well. Well, we did have the one. What did you get for an amp? Covered that. There was something else. Well, there's that symmetry. Just
Yeah.
relax, and you know. Speaking of, hey,
It's supposed to be subtle.
yeah.
Thanks, Joe.
Oops. There we go. You're more than welcome, Joe. You're one of the OGs of the channel.
Yeah, always fun to have you around in the group, man.
Yep. Question: what do you guys prefer? Fender 68 Vibro Champ reissue or Tone Master Princeton? They run about the same price.
All
Knowing nothing
valid
about
point.
either one, I would pick the Princeton because I just like that name better.
Okay. Well, the Princeton is their newer hybrid. It's not modeling. It's not solid state. It's something like that. But it's also got, I think it's still got tube preamp though, Terry. Do they not? Those Tone Masters still have they have no tubes whatsoever in them.
Totally
Totally tube. But they do sound pretty nice.
Yeah.
Tone Master's lighter. So there is that. The Princeton may be louder too.
Hey, Kurt.
We are aware, BC Rich.
My little input depends on what you're planning on running into the front of it. Now, here's what I've heard from some of the videos and whatnot that I've seen on YouTube.
What's up, Octopus Ears?
With the Tone
Saw you hanging out
Masters,
in a JJ's with Laz.
Yeah. Wonder if
when
he's
it
back at home.
comes
That must be.
to when it comes to the solid state amps, one of the things that they've been saying is fuzz pedals are not very good into the fronts of solid state amps.
All right,
Now,
Terry.
in regards to the
Terry, not to interrupt, but I'm just going to say this here now. If you run a fuzz pedal into a solid state amp, you decide to be hit up the head with either the fuzz pedal or the solid state amp.
so If
Oh,
you're
there's
at
that,
all playing, if you're
Or-
at all playing to
or-
run,
If you run a fuzz pedal into a solid state amp, you deserve the tone you get. You deserved it.
Right. It's natural selection.
Yeah.
so that's the one knock that I've heard on the Fender Tone
What's up, Kurt?
Master series is that fuzz pedals into the fronts of them don't sound very good.
Well, nowhere should they.
Yeah.
The Boss
I just-
Katana, on the other hand, though, apparently can handle fuzz pedals, even though it has onboard fuzzes.
But it also sounds like a Boss Katana.
So, depending on what you're going to run into the
Okay.
front of it, I'd say the Fender Champ, the Vibro
I don't know.
Champ.
I like the vibro in it.
Yeah.
Brad Miller says, "Hey Ben, did you know I spent a week in Denver building a cool thin line telly?" Yes, I did. I was well aware.
Want me to
I
bring it up?
followed all the posts. I was liking your posts. You should turn on notifications while traveling. You would know that. I saw the guitar. Turned out great. You're all cleaning it up and you're greasing up the fretboard because it dried out a bit. Because apparently, even though Florida has all the humidity, it has it all because it sucks it out of every living thing, which I
Yeah.
thought was interesting. Vibrochamp is all tube. Sup, Rock Daddy? Yes, Saskat, a Texas Toast Telecaster-shaped object.
Very cool looking.
Michael
Yeah.
Cross admits he run a fuzz pedal into a solid-state amp and he lived to tell about it. Okay. Apparently Josh is feeling lucky. He's going to try it with an MXR Super Badass, likely into that Dane Electro. That Dane Electro is going to be dancing on the floor. It's going to be vibrating so bad. It's tie it down. Maybe have your daughter sit on the amp so it doesn't move.
25-pound weight.
You need
on
something. Yeah, you need to weigh it down. Weigh it down.
Balance.
Maybe, I don't know, pretend it's a floor monitor and put your one foot up on it while you play. You can do that. You know, play a Telecaster up on the leg like that. That's cool. You can do that.
Apparently, Octopus Ears just bought a Black Star HT1, but because
Nice.
of pawn laws, he doesn't get it for a few weeks.
Oh, well, that's fine. How many pedals? Let's see. So many pedals. How you guys keep track? I don't know. I don't know.
There are some who don't.
They're in there.
Surprises.
Yeah, I try to keep up. I don't know a lot of them. What's up, Braxel? Ribeye time. I actually had pizza tonight. Oh, that was nice.
I did too.
I had to pick up my niece and drive her over to my sister's, and then I thought, you know what? Mazel. Just swing by, pick up a pizza on the way home or two.
I did a beef stroganoff.
Ooh.
See, I would enjoy that if I liked beef stroganoff, but
No.
Too many mushrooms in there for you.
it's a lot. Yeah. And
It
I'm
seems
not
like
big
it's
on
well, there's
creamy
no
beef.
maple in it.
I'm not big on creamy beef.
Well, you don't have to put the sour cream on. Then it's just gravy and onions and mushrooms and beef.
Yeah.
Put that on noodles, potatoes, rice, whatever you like.
That's true.
Smashed up Salisbury steak. Mind you, that's
Yep.
got mushrooms.
Braxel says there's so many pedals on the market. I just do not see this as sustainable. Thoughts? Yes. I've noticed a trend that as more gear is being produced, your average person has more gear. You know, like you look, my dad's generation, generally you had one or two guitars and a broken one, and one amp and another amp that kind of works. And you probably didn't even have any pedals. But then you got the guys that have 3 or 4 guitars, one, maybe 2 amps, and let's say half a dozen pedals, Trev. That's still on the low end of average. Like, you think how many people we know in the community, which, you know, some have a lot, and some don't. But there's a lot more people that have double digits of guitars and definitely double digits of pedals than ever before in life, it seems.
Mm-hmm.
your Rock Daddy.
Yeah, I will say it's going to be sustainable for a while yet. And I can say that too because, I could have used this for a title tonight had I remembered until now. But the guitar is not dead. The guitar is not dead. And the reason I say that, Trev, is because I was watching a Tim Pierce video the other day. And that's why I didn't do it prior to last week's show, because I only watched the video the other day. And the video was only a couple months old, let's say 6 months tops, so this year. And for those who don't know, Tim Pierce is a session player in LA, and he does a lot of pop music. Okay, and you're like, define a lot of pop music. Pop music doesn't have guitars. Well, Trev, 7 of the songs in the Billboard Top 10 had guitar on the tracks. 7. Now, some of it could be the funk, just, middle pickup position, Terry, on a Stratocaster, just go, ding, 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 or it could be just a chugga, chugga, chugga. Doesn't matter. That's a guitar. That's a guitar. That's a guitar. And you can't do a keyboard that sounds like a guitar. Doesn't work. It's weird. Doesn't sound right. So that's a guitar. Somebody played an actual instrument on a pop song. Which, first of all, okay. But yeah, 7 out of 10 songs in the Billboard Top 10 had some form of guitar on them. And some of them had some outright hooks. Like, a lot of it, it's been a resurgence of becoming more of a disco-y thing. Like, hey, let's use some actual instruments on a song. What a concept. Instruments on a song? Back in my day, we used to make songs out of instruments. Hey, Michael Cross. So, I think there's still plenty of room. Like, guitar regains popularity, even that it had a couple of years ago. Now, there's also becoming quite the dearth of those who, during the pandemic, we're going to learn how to play guitar. And then 6 months later, I don't know how to play guitar, and I don't want it. And now they're throwing that stuff on your Craigslist, your Facebook marketplaces, your Guitar Center.
Not as much of that as I thought there would be by this point. I think there's I think it's still going to be another 6, maybe just before Christmas. Maybe now's not a bad time to watch.
It's trickling out.
Braxel makes a good comment there.
Oh, excuse me. Well, how many different overdrives are there before they're all just the same with a different name? I don't mean to be a down. No, dude. All right. So I got it back into gear and pedals, let's say 10 years ago. Right? And even 10 years ago, there was 100 different Tube Screamer clones and 100 different Big Muff clones. So if there's 200 clones or 100, I don't think it matters. Because, again, it's just a paint job in a box, with a certain tone. And, they may all sound a little different. A little, not much, splitting hairs. But there's those guys, especially, let's say, the upper end guys, right? Because, it's like, Trev, I've been trying to bod with a Tube Screamer. I've never found one I liked. And then eventually, you're like, have you checked out Terry's Tube Screamer? Well, what's different? I don't know. But for whatever reason, you bond with it. You're like, wow. It's like, I didn't like
just your combination of guitar and amp, too. I mean, talking about that the other day. There's certain things that are going to fit into certain places better than others.
Yeah.
Exactly. So, like, I didn't like fuzz for years, Terry knows, early days on channel. What's your favorite fuzz? None of the above. That was my answer. Yep. None of the above. Until I'm in Nashville, Aaron said, come here. I want you to meet my friend. Here, play his pedal. And I went, oh. I'm like, that's a fuzz? He's like, yeah. And, plus I had someone who knew how to dial in a fuzz. And that dipped the toe. So I only like that one fuzz pedal, Trav. That's the Carolina Reaper by Haunted Labs. Hey, ET5150. Been a minute. Fast forward to the following, so it'd be January 2020, when I'm out in California. We go over to Sean Pierce Johnson's place. Sean's a fuzz guy. Aaron's a fuzz guy. I said, perfect. All right, you two. let's figure it out. So, Sean pulled out the Holy Trinity. Here's a fuzz face circuit. Here's a muff circuit. Here's tone, but let's find what works for you. And they start twisting knobs, based on how I play. And then all of a sudden I'm like, oh. And then I started getting into fuzz because fuzz, Terry, is like a high maintenance girlfriend. It takes a lot of work to get the results you want.
Yeah, true.
It's not a set it and forget it. In many ways. It is once you dial it in, but it takes forever to dial it in.
Not to mention it's not a stable, always the same with every unit either.
Oh, you can plug it into a different outlet. It's just so many things. Yeah, so that's true, Billy. Lots of Line 6 spiders and square bullets out there. They are out there. I have not tried the Soldano pedal. I'm curious to try it. Octopus here says fuzz or die, so he just wants to blow my whole argument out of the water. That's fine. That's fine. Hip, like myself, is not a Tube Screamer fan. Keith asks, what's my pedal count this week? -6 since this time last week.
That's the easiest answer.
Because I traded in 6 pedals and some cash for the amplifier.
Yeah, I was going to say, as much as, there is that allure of a Tube Screamer, I don't think I've ever actually owned one.
You've never owned a Tube Screamer?
I don't think I ever have.
Okay, we know I'm not a fan, and I've owned a lot of different flavors of tubes. Like, I don't know, a dozen? 15?
I've owned probably about now 7 or 8 fuzzes, but never a Tube Screamer.
Thanks, Joe. Michael, for those who joined live, I picked up a VHT Special Ultra 6 or Special 6 Ultra. 112 tube amp, 6 watts with the attenuation situation, down to 1 watt, I guess. I don't know. It's pretty loud. Class A amp. I like it. I like it a lot. I like it with humbuckers. I like it with single coils. I've not tried it with P90s yet. But if I like it with both of those, I'm going to like it with P90s too. Because I know what P90s are going to sound like compared to the other two. What does it look like? All right. They're going to make me get up, Terry, again. Oh, wait. No, I can't sit on the chair and raise it. That's not how that works. I'm not that light. All right. So that's yep. Put the chair up. All right. Take the wah off. That was a previous discussion. Do you like wahs? Yep. Sort of. Not really. The biggest reason I never used a wah, because pretty much every band I've ever played in, the other guitar player had a wah. And no band needs 2 guitar players with wahs. It's okay if they both have phasers, but not wahs.
I think that's one of the reasons why I never have gotten a Tube Screamer, just because it's been so commonly used and whatnot.
There we go. Well, it was kind of prerequisite in the 90s. You had to get a Tube Screamer and own a Strat and try to sound like SRV. So there it is. Top controls. Oh, yeah, it's too heavy for that shit.
Yeah, like I said, I thought you'd gotten the base model of that, and then when you said what it was like, oh shit, no, that's really nice.
Yep. I don't know. Feels like 40-ish pounds. I don't know.
It's just the fact that I think what some of these companies are realizing is, there are a lot of people out there that don't need 20, 40, 60 watts. And if you can offer a package that's like, 5, 10 watts, but a big enough speaker to push it.
All right, Terry, I like all the watts. My back doesn't want to carry all the watts, though.
That's just it.
Right?
Yeah.
Thank you, Braxel. So, I traded in some pedals and some cash and snagged that up. Yeah, so that was nice, and it's first and only time I played through a VHT, and I really enjoy it. Apparently, it's a good mod platform, because I think they use the right kind of circuit board, so it's easy to modify. Well, the hand wired it's going to be the through hole easiness. I'm curious to know what mods you can do for it. I haven't really looked that up yet, but I don't need to. Sounds okay right now. It's when I get bored.
All right.
Yep.
Then you'll watch a video and say, hey, maybe I could try that. Looks pretty easy.
Yeah. That'll be the
Sean
ultimate.
Hockey.
And that's the funny thing. Based on my regulars here in the chat, good to see all you here. Did I say hey to Kurt? I meant to say hey to Kurt. I think I said hey to Kurt. I just said
Yeah,
hey to
you
Kurt.
did.
I do have my roadie still furred, but he lives in another town. And if the jam's basically in his town, I'm not going to pick him up, bring him over here to go back to there, because he doesn't drive. So that was the idea, that I can grab that with one arm, grab a guitar with the other, pedal board over the shoulder, and I'm good to go. Yeah, so what I was going to say, clickbait, Trev. But, clickbait normally is to bring in the non-subscribed person, right? Whereas if I put, Ben's recapping an amp, all my regulars are tuning it out because they're like, at what point does he get electrocuted?
When does Ben start sparking up, and not in his usual way?
Definitely need to make one of those little screwdriver sticks with a one
Chopstick.
resistance.
Hey, Nerd Halen.
Hey, Nerd Halen.
Caleb?
Eddie Faye brings up an interesting point, which you kind of covered in the past.
I actually was playing. The first guitar I played through that, Trev, because I wanted to push on it. Initially without a pedal.
Yeah.
So I needed the output. I needed all the output.
Put your foot into it for the test drive for sure.
So I used this.
Right.
Nice.
Because it's got the output. So, and yeah. I get that they put the low friction knob in for the cathedral situation, but my God, I hit that and I turn it down. It in that Strat kind of way at times.
Yeah.
It's the only thing. Yes, I am, Braxel. Hashtag lifestyle choices. So.
Michael Krause, what would be the over-under on burning fingers versus electrocution?
Over. And we're going to show it off because it's within reach. Play this too. Love it.
Cool.
If you want a custom Kramer, just saying. What's up, Adam D?
I just realized I normally say the Cosmo Kramer. I just realized there's another Kramer you could do. The Eddie Kramer. Eddie
You want to do a
Faye
super distortion. And we're going to have to do something. We're going to need to add some infrastructure in that area. It needs more. Speaking of brass blocks, I found one. It damn near fell on my hand today in the shop. It's up on the shelf.
Jeez.
You do not want a big brass. I'm like, and it was way too close to the edge of the shelf that I'm grabbing stuff up there, Trev, during this entire build that it could have fallen, and it would have gone through. Yeah. So let's put this one over here. Don't wear a paisley shirt with that. No. Octopus Ears gets the new Analog Man in 2 days. That's awesome.
Excellent.
So getting back to what I was saying, Eddie Faye
Jeff K, he says, wow, that polycoat really reflects your lights. Well, it's buffed out to a 10,000 grit.
Yeah. Charles went a little nuts on that.
All the grit. All the grit.
To none of the grits.
So Eddie Faye said to you, isn't there a solution that allows you to carry just a multi-effects pedal and go to the front of house, or a small tablet and software easier.
Where's the fun in that?
Right?
You don't want to be chasing cables and hums and hisses?
Plenty of solutions for that, but we don't like them. They don't got tubes.
Well, you showed the one the other day.
What? Oh, I could show up at a gig and just say, here, wire this into my front of house.
Yeah.
Right? I could go digital. I don't want to.
What? Did you see the Ola pedal yet? That chug pedal?
I have
he
not.
Puts that into a demo where he puts it into his interface, then he puts it into the front of the amp, and then into the loop of the amp, and then into a little combo front of the amp. Totally my sound all the time. The chug, chug, chug. That's why I'm here.
I have not put the embers into this yet. I think it'd be very clone friendly.
Mm-hmm.
But, well, it's funny because this is a Class A tube amp in a box. So I'm pushing a Class A tube amp with a Class A tube amp in the box. What's up, Rodney?
Sometimes a little more is more.
Yeah. And this is more. Definitely.
Just a little more. You don't need a lot more, just a little more.
Just a little more. So, yes. And no, I don't know where you can get one of those drives these days.
It's a guitar man. Charles bought the buffing wheel now. He's got the motor with the spindle.
I'd have to, I don't know if I can get another one of those at this point.
What's that?
Class AA. Exactly, Billy. It's Class AA.
Double A fueler.
Yeah. So what's your signal chain? Oh, it's an alcohol altered. No. That sounds more like my playing style.
That would be some cool tone.
Bah! Good morning, Lamb.
Is the lamb in here?
Yep, just showed up.
I believe you. Oh, there's my chat delayed. Good morning, the lamb. Congratulations on your 97th live stream earlier today.
Definitely
Hello.
wouldn't be from
Why is my phone
lifestyle
going off?
choices. I just made a lamb sound.
Oh, well, I'm busy with a show. I'm not going to answer that. What tab are you guys on? There you guys are. Awesome. So, what else do we have? Did that. We did that.
BC Rich.
I bet you could, Keith. I happened to be in Calgary the week that it was made legal. That made for some weird public transit riding. Oh. I bet.
Mm-hmm.
Well, since you asked, Trev, I'll see what Soda Pop video I have coming out this week.
Yes.
According to this, Stewart's Soda, Key Lime. Key Lime is the flavor this week.
Oh, that should be good.
I don't want to give it away. Thanks, Braxel. I just haven't been selling as much as I've been acquiring. And a lot of the stuff was in storage when I was at the old house. The big stuff was all in storage.
Yeah.
Like, that cab was in storage. That cab was in storage. That one was at home. But all the road cases, because these amps are sitting on... Well, yeah, there's road cases back here. Those were in storage.
Yeah, it's true. You've had a lot more room since moving to that new place.
Oh, yeah.
Compared to
Well, I have about the same room, considering how much is dedicated to the NASCAR studio next door.
Mm-hmm.
NASCAR studio? Yes, folks. We pan. It's just like a television studio. One stage here, one stage there for the NASCAR podcast. So, yes.
He's the BBN. Welcome,
Like
Donnie
BBN.
Lovett. Good to see Donnie Lovett in here.
Cheers.
Nice.
Sascat says that's a good flavor. So yeah, it was. I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty fucking good. I don't know. As I recall, you can get like the creamy orange, Trev, right?
Mhm.
That's kind of creamsicle and pop flavor,
Right.
but lime,
Yeah.
like a creamy lime,
Yeah.
which is a whole different kind of awesomeness that I didn't realize I needed in my life until I tried it, and then I went, I need this in my life. That's going to be every once in a while snag on a bottle of that to throw in the fridge for a special day.
I generally like things that are green flavored.
Yep. Are you not afraid to leave your guitars at the get frets? No, I keep it. It gets dry in here eventually, but because I'm subterranean, it does stay more humid. And actually, I'm going to be picking up a humidifier soon. And I get minimal fret sprout, and really only one guitar gets fret sprout, and I don't play it in the winter. That's the Wolfgang I just held up because it's got stainless frets, and I cannot file the stainless frets.
That is the one big advantage to roasted, is it gets a lot of that moisture out, so it reduces the amount of.
Well, yeah, the guitar's 10 years old. You'd think it would, and it's a raw neck. You think the moisture would be out by now, but not so much. And it's minimal, but because those stainless frets, they are kind of sharp. So I just play others. I have other similar guitars.
John Deshane was asking best Ram's Head or Green Russian fuzz ideas.
I prefer the Ram's Head myself.
Yeah. I was just going to say a simple option might be a muffaletta. Because of it having the...
It's got all the flavors in it.
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah, because you might even find out that there's another one that you like better than both of those.
Yeah. And I think it has both of those.
Oh, yeah, it would have both of those for sure.
I think there's 7.
Yeah, so it's got all the flavors.
And it's a decent price, too, which is the other nice thing about it.
Guitar Man 45 likes Doug's Bagger. Yeah, that was back when Charlotte Motor Speedway was known as the Beast in the Southeast. They had those eyes painted on the wall in the corners, which is kind of cool. So, yeah. How we did? Well, we did an hour. We got 51 people watching. If you haven't already, please leave a thumbs up. And, of course, subscribe if you're watching for the first time, because I always say, we're like the Trailer Park Boys. You tune in and you're like, what is this? What am I watching? I can't believe this is available for consumption. And wow, half an hour's gone.
Right now I'm a cross between Ricky and Bubbles.
you just realize that, well, it's not so much an exact character, Terry, but it's the feel of it. You know, that the first time anyone sees the Trailer Park Boys for the first time, you're like, first of all, is this Cops? Am I watching Cops? No.
Oh, God.
Okay, what am I watching here? It takes about 10 minutes, and you're going, what is this complete garbage? And then next thing you know, you've binge-watched 4 episodes. So, might as well hit the subscribe. So, I'm just saying.
I love having you on
Billy
here.
Baloney. Every time I hear the word Big Muff, it gives me the giggles.
All right, Eddie Fay asks, wear boots, I'll say, as opposed to whereabouts. But whereabouts in Canuck land are you guys located? Well, I am just outside of Belleville, Ontario, which is about 100 miles, 165 kilometers east of Toronto. Terry is a couple hundred kilometers north of Toronto because he prefers to live in cottage country for some reason. Yet he has faster internet than me. Fuck you, Terry. Trev, he's out on the west coast, which is the best coast, but he moved in from the inland just a bit because he's like, whoa. So for me to look at a bunch of moisture on the ground, you want me to pay how much? You're like, nah, I'll live on the other side of town, and I'll actually enjoy a little bit better weather. Just saying.
Mm-hmm.
But not saying. Well, that's windy, first of all. So, yeah, so Trevor's outside of Vancouver, BC, British Columbia. Ben lives inside Yorkville Sound. Yes. No. Actually, Yorkville Sound's an hour up the road from me. A little more red-green, I like to think. Yes. I'm only 15 hours from Josh.
Only 15 hours. That's a 2
Like Barry has a 90s keyboard because all he is.
Anything
you know
over
what?
12
It's
hours.
annoying me. It's even annoying me.
It's all about hashtag mic placement.
Damn razor.
Cherry
It's
on
like,
that?
what do you got a box of Legos under the webcam?
I don't know what this has for keys other than
For mechanical.
I find that they're too mechanical and clicky.
I
That's
have some red, but that keyboard's in the house. This one's just a membrane. Blah, blah.
yeah, that's what I'd like is something like that.
Hip Metalworks says BC rocks. Just saying. Yes. Yes.
It's true.
We know. That's why the West Coast is the best coast.
Michael Cross.
I can say that having not been there, Trev, because I've been to the East Coast. So
Right?
I was just sending him a
really
message.
beautiful for about 3 weeks in late July, early August. Rest of the time, you know.
Michael Cross. I like
Think similar
ice
terrain,
fishing
Trev, and drop the
scooby.
temperature by 10 degrees year round. Right?
Yeah.
No, Braxel,
yo,
this
St.
isn't
John's,
a
Newfoundland.
bedroom.
Lovely city, Trev, but I don't want to look out and see icebergs in the ocean in July.
Yeah.
The cost of living out there on the East Coast and Nova Scotia and stuff, I mean, it's cheap. You can get a
You know
lot of house
why?
for $100,000. But
Because there's no jobs. The
you have
last
to
job.
retire out there
coal
with money in
mine.
the bank. Yeah. And
Yeah,
then
they're
you get
very
hit with
beautiful places, yes, but minimal economy. That's right. Jeff K's like, I'm in Minnesota, Ben's in Canada, yet he's south of me.
Yeah.
Yep.
Actually, I think I am actually even south of Jeff K, and I'm even up around the middle, western part.
There
of
was a
the
time, Terry, I lived south of Bow, and Bow lives in Detroit, or outside of Detroit. Because Detroit's on the north side of the Detroit River, Windsor's on the south shore of the
Oh yeah, yeah, you're right.
where it curls around. We would look north to our American neighbors. It was kind of surreal, you know. You're thinking, I've been looking at maps my life, and then, but no, it's. I was like, oh,
Same thing as the confusion saying that I'm from Windsor. Okay, Windsor, what? Windsor, Ontario, Windsor, Michigan.
oh no, literally, it's craziest because, like, obviously because we have so many British name stuff in North America. In Michigan, they have Trenton, Belleville, and Brighton all right near each other. Here, in a row, Belleville, Trenton, Brighton.
Yeah,
I'm like, this is really weird. Yeah, because when I was working in Windsor, it'd be like, where are you from? I'm like, Trenton. They're like, Michigan? I'm like, no, actually, Ontario. I'm like, never heard of it. I'm like, yeah, you know of Trenton, Michigan. She did not, Braxel. She did not. She offered to take me out for lunch last week. I might go out for lunch tomorrow. Oh, steak tomorrow, maybe. I don't know. We'll see. So, yeah. That's the geography portion of the show.
Yeah. I always like to get in a little educational services.
Yeah, Terry and I live the closest, and we're about a 4 to 5 hour drive apart.
yeah. But,
Well, I mean, I don't want to get the maps out or anything again.
And you can pass 1,000
half
lakes.
an hour away from John Shane.
If you take the back roads, the most direct route, you know, as the crow flies, Terry, if you took the most direct route, it'd be nothing but concession roads and, you know, whatever. But you'd be passing a lake every 5 minutes the entire trip.
yeah,
A
pretty
different lake
much.
every 5 minutes.
Yeah.
Oh, Doug's
And they
late.
all got fit?
He wants to see the amp. All right. For the third time.
Oh, jeez.
Really?
I thought he was on the stream Saturday.
Sorry. Late.
Oh yeah, he was another late one too. Yeah, that's right.
All right. So. Pen will explain to you, I'm sure. Yeah. So I was getting it for the third time. Raise the chair back up. All right. Anybody else that jumps in, we're telling them to watch the beginning of the show and to ring the bell for notifications. Doug gets
Scroll
an
back
excuse.
5-10 minutes.
Doug gets an excuse because he's a nice guy and has youngins at home, and I get it. Best laid plans. He's got a 4-year-old and a 2-year-old, folks. So, yeah.
Right. Oh, Joe Harvey's asking about files again. Okay, come on.
That's no excuse,
Joe,
Doug, that you're from
Joe.
Hamilton.
Rewind an hour and listen to us when we told you. No. So, yeah, we got a VHT, what's it called again? Special 6 Ultra. So, 2-channel, well, 2 input for the 2-channel. Really, Terry, it's 1 channel that cascades into the other channel. That's most of the way these things work. But anyways, yeah. Smells somewhat like Long McQuaid. Got the foot switch even with it, which looks straight out of 1963. I don't know if that's a suction cup on the bottom. Probably not. Nope. But yeah, she's the most basic of basics. Yeah, that's going to wear out in about a day and a half. So, oh, come on. Come on. You can do it. Yeah, at least I don't hear like 14 of my vertebrae popping when I carry it off the chair. So that's a good sign. So that's the new jam app for jam sessions and... Yeah, that's good. Man, I give myself a head rush every time I drop down in the chair like that.
Oh, Jesus.
I am, LRM. Oh, man. I'm working off that super fat from earlier.
This is a fret crowning file.
That is fret.
That's for doing your frets, like leveling and stuff. If
I'm
you're
not
doing the end of the fret, you want a triangle safe edge file, which I made. This is a $5 Nicholson file, and if you've got a grinding wheel, you just down all the edges so you don't dig into the wood. Right. Or you can use a 4-sided file and blow the whole side off, and I like that better for doing the ends because then you're not filing your finger and the fret.
Yeah, I'm not big on filing my fingers. It happens.
Yeah.
You don't notice it, but if you do it too much, I've done it sharpening knives and stuff, because all of a sudden you got a blood blister there because you actually took off too much skin.
Yeah.
So that's all I got to say about files for the night.
Here we go.
Oh, and this is a fingernail file, also used for cleaning under your fingers.
Keith says hates it when he takes an earbud out, it freezes the video, but the chat doesn't. I don't understand that, Keith. That sounds like modern technologies and stuff. I am not knowing.
Keith, if
is
you're
it
listening,
Apple?
Yeah, if you're listening with a Bluetooth headphone, what might be happening is probably when you're grabbing it and pulling it, you're probably tapping it and making it pause or whatever.
Maybe.
Or mute
I don't know. That sounds digital. I don't even have earbuds that are wireless.
Yeah, I can't stand earbuds. I got these stupid headphones. That
I use them, but I still use the cord ones
ago when they gave me
3 years ago.
I hate them. Fall out. Maybe I'm just not using the right size.
Yeah,
rubber insert diaphragm thing, whatever you call it.
To answer Keith's question, well, you just typed in the chat. If you're able to type in the chat, chances are you're live. Or we were 2 weeks ago, and it's just a rerun. So,
I can say my own experiences since going in ears has been a lot better on my neck because I had the big Sennheiser headphones, and those were like 3 to 5 pounds. So you can imagine taking 3 to 5 pounds of pressure off your head, especially when you're wearing it long amounts of hours in a day.
Sure, Braxel.
The problem with these is they don't have enough push here anymore.
Yep.
And you'll start pushing on your head. You bottom out after about half an hour.
Yeah, that as well too.
We'll go a couple more minutes. If anyone has any last comments, get them in now.
No questions?
Trying to think.
So Harvey, are we clear on the files? Do you have any more file questions? No, okay, he's gotcha, cool. Okay.
All right. Braxel says, you're so damn lucky. You know why? Why, Braxel? I'm curious. Why?
Well,
I'm curious. Karma.
Tom.
Don't you gentlemen realize you just get high and your head doesn't hurt at all? Yep. 28. Practical. Keith was chatting with Des. Say hey to Des. I was chatting with Des a week or two ago. Speaking of which, I might as Mazel have one for the road. Doug stopped his music lessons. My music teacher didn't have a chair without arms and apparently only one patch cord. I feel like he was making me work too hard. Sounds like he doesn't sound too professional. Like he doesn't have a setup for a student.
He didn't go to Bobby Crispy, did he, in Toronto?
Here, just sit in this lazy boy. No. It's all good, Braxel. Hello, sis.
Amanda. Oh, God.
So apparently my sister's been lurking for at least a minute or so.
See, the rats come out of the woodwork. All the troublemakers.
Riff raff.
And Tom survived Nashville.
Excellent. Sounds like you had an
Apparently
excellent
playing
trip.
golf and meeting football players going, wow. I'm feeling pretty small at the moment.
And it'd be pretty bad if you were told you were going to meet Herschel
Ever-
Walker
ever-
instead
ever
you meet
wanna-
Herschel Savage.
Ever want to feel like a kid again? Hang out with NFL players. You'll feel real small, real quick. It's getting clogged, so that has to be taken care of.
And
So let's see. I will be seeing my sister in approximately 15 hours. We're going to hang out tomorrow.
cool.
She's possibly buying me steak,
Bye, Ben Steak.
according to Braxel. Oh. You know, it was all beautiful on Saturday, Terry? Did you notice somebody turned down the thermostat? Like, we're down to single digits today, so got the car put away today.
Nice.
I thought, all right, so I had a line of thinking to make it easy, Trev. So first of all, I texted Mark, and I said, hey, buddy, what are you up to today? He says, not much. He says, what do you want to do? I said, I want to put the car away. He says, okay, cool, I'll come over. Sweet. All right, extra set of hands, because otherwise
Absolutely.
I'm going to be running around, right?
Mm-hmm.
Second, I had been meaning to film me, getting it running, blah, 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 blah. But I thought, with me the way I tempt fate every time I press the record button in life, maybe we won't. Okay?
Mm-hmm.
So we didn't set up a camera. So literally, because I charged up battery again a couple weeks ago just to be safe, right?
Mm-hmm.
So plop in the battery, put the connectors on, nothing smoking, good. So that means no varmints have decided to make a double wide in there or something. Cool. All right. So because it's a Holly carburetor, pull off the little pumper on the front, fill up the float board, right? I got a water bottle with some gasoline in it. Filled it up like, let's say, 3/4 of the way. Close that. Teaspoon of gasoline down the carburetor. What was left in the bottle. Get in, pump it twice. Starts right up.
Oh, wow.
God, okay. Now, it did stall out after a few seconds, but I fired again. As long as I gave it a bit of gas till it got a little heat in it.
Yeah.
Right up. And I'm just like,
Wow.
I was planning on wrestling this thing, cutting 3 fingers and chipping an elbow, trying to get this thing started, and all of a sudden, another minute and a half later, I went, "Oh, okay. Well, let's back that into the garage. Get that." And then the funny part is, no sooner do I get it in the garage, maybe half an hour later goes by. Buddy stops by. He's a professional photographer that wanted to try out a new lens, and he wanted to shoot the car.
Oh.
So, I don't know. Can a fella share this? So, you know, I have another one out in the yard, right? The yard monument.
Mm-hmm.
So Bill snapped on a photo or two of that. So let's just see if this will work. So if we go over here and then we share of the screen, where you moved present, right?
It's called present.
You renamed it. Yeah, extra camera. Oh, your screen. That's it. Video file. No. Chrome tab. Yep. Messenger. Sure. So this is the other one that's out in the yard, and as you say, he's got a high detail lens, Trev.
Ooh.
Nice.
Now I don't know if this will flip through the pictures. We'll try.
Yeah, should there.
Yeah, it should.
There. So
too far.
Close up on the headlight.
Yeah, too far.
Nice. You see, he's got a very deep depth of field there, right? There's no blur. There's no bokeh there. He's running a really large depth of field. Oh, there we go. Now he's got the background.
Yeah, nice.
So as you see, it was a cloudy day today, Terry.
Yeah.
Yep. Same thing.
Which means,
today.
you know, you have to work with the light that you have. You got to run a little more wide open when it's dark out.
Mm-hmm. So, as our friend Bill came over to snag on some photos.
Some nice pics, Bill.
How much would Charles charge to buff all that out?
He'd do that for $1.
Yeah. So, he wanted to try that out, and then we had talked about a couple business opportunities, cross promotion thing. Mm-hmm. He's like, "Can you do this?" And I went, "Yeah." He's like, "Can you? How much?" I went, "Nothing. Yeah, whatever. Right. You're a friend. Yeah, whatever." He needs just a soundbite, essentially done, something he can loop, and I was done. And so I'll have that done for him the next while, and then and then he wants to do some other stuff to help me out, and I was like, "Well, we'll see. Let's see what we can do." So on that note,
for the detail that he got out of that.
Well, yeah, he's been messing with cameras forever today. He goes to a lot of car shows, and he used to shoot some bands as well. That was his thing. He really likes shooting cars and bands. And he's been doing it, I think, about as long as I've been on this earth. So, yeah, he was friend of Dad's. Well, still friend of Dad's, and he's a friend of mine as well. So it was weird when he sent me a friend request on Facebook, Terry. Literally comes up 2 mutual friends, my dad and Richard Shanahan. I'm like, what? How? How?
That's 3 degrees of separation there. That's great.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the only common thing between Richie and my dad is me. Apparently not. Sup, Sir Lawrence of the Pedals?
Hello and goodbye, Lawrence.
Yes, we're just getting ready to wrap things up.
Last call.
Excellent launch of the broiler, which is probably already sold out.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if it is.
I know a few people that have got one, so it's good to see. Good to see. What else we got going on? I got to work on a guitar this week. What am I going to work on this week? All right. Let me come up with a couple choices here, Terry, and then we'll choose in the chat. Choice 1, choice 2, choice 3. Can I do a 3? Maybe. No. Yes. So I've only got one idea so far. That can't make sense.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow.
Said
I see that.
Sold out in 12 hours. Second, almost sold out. Wow.
Nice. See, I'm kind of limited because I'm still waiting on that thing that we had talked about that may arrive at some point, possibly, and that hasn't. So, no. All right. Well, we could try an amp demo. Maybe. That's possibly choice number one. Choice number
haven't
two.
done one of those in a while.
Well, I know it. Well, I haven't bought an amp in a while.
But you have enough playable ones behind you, though.
Yeah, I've demoed all of them years ago. They were all demoed years ago.
Yeah.
Literally. I have not bought a new amp since I moved into this house.
Maybe it's time for a refresh for those of us who are new to the channel.
Sound quality's worse now. So, no.
Upload
time's worse.
Oh, yeah. The other thing is because it needs to be done, aka, we're really leaning on option 2. Possible is. Well, can a fella? Yeah, a fella can. Neck shim.
Oh,
So
yeah.
Get rid of the cheese grater effect. So this would be option number 2, which is probably also option number 1 because I may be having a jam this Saturday, and I would kind of like to take this guitar and not have the cheese grater.
Right.
Given.
I would say in that instance that I would make it probably choice number 1 then.
All right, so this is choice number 1. We do some work on this. Or choice number 2, maybe a demo on the VHT amp. Maybe. My sister wuss. Sure, that seems to be pretty much in tune.
Good enough for the girls I go with.
Yeah. This currently has the Master 8 strings switch. No, Master 8 doesn't. They do picks, they do strings, Ben. Master 8 strings out of Japan. Available through TesiSwitch.com. Use coupon code Canucks. Save 15% and get a headstock tuner while supplies last. Free of charge. Steve Luther says, play your new Fabric Kramer guitar through your new amp. That's a plausibility.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
I usually use this for demos, though, because I can do the split coil to give you a variety of tones.
Versatility.
Yeah, it's only appeared in 100 plus videos on the channel. So I see absolutely no votes in the chat, which is like, you, Ben, do whatever you want. They're like,
Okay.
We want a third option. We want. Octopus here says, did you hear that I fell in love with a Tele Deluxe? So the rumors are true.
What's this?
Gonna come to the dark side?
Octopus ears depends on what you mean by Tele Deluxe, because there's 2 different types of Tele Deluxes.
I assume it's got wide range humbuckers and 2 volumes, 2 tones. That's Tele Deluxe, in my opinion.
Yeah, but they also make a Tele Deluxe like yours. And a non-wide ranged version as well, too.
So they made a better one. Shim the neck! The way Michael Krause yells shim the neck, I read it as like, sweep the leg! Shim the neck!
Or sweep! Herd! Herd! Herd!
We can do a neck shim on her and set them up. Would be a bad idea. Get it ready and.
Which it is that season.
I really should raise the pickups in this thing at some point. I don't know how far down there. Well, I could just, I can measure it. Sure, if my little fret, the thing you measure the action with, the credit card, it'll stack to it, but it doesn't matter because it's still the same height. Because that's how that works. God, these pickups are filthy.
I got the stainless steel straight edge, so it's not magnetic.
Nice.
Right, and it's just big enough to straddle a couple poles on a pickup, or
Sure.
couple of frets at the 12th or 17th fret, whatever you're telling it to do.
I had it right. Ooh, that was wrong. Nope. That happens. Friend kept telling another friend that that's how he should coach his youth soccer. Sweep the leg! Yep. And that is why I'm not allowed to teach youth soccer.
There you go.
Because I said that in every sport. They're like, it's gymnastics. I don't care. Sweep the leg.
Always.
It's always, when in doubt, sweep the leg.
Sweep the leg, the Tanya Harding story.
So yeah.
Oh, custom shop.
Yeah, that's why.
Drinking Coke out of a whiskey glass.
Yeah, cornhole, sweep the leg!
Now's when you do it to your cousin, and your cousin goes, "What the fuck?"
I was thinking golf. You just wind up and backswing guy comes out, just fucking sweep the leg, right?
Hip metal worked for Tanya Harding, kinda.
No, that's a highlight reel I want. Just various sports. Some guy just comes in and sweeps the leg. I'm like, pro fishing guy standing there in a bass boat. One of the guy in the boat just comes over, fucking sweeps the leg. He goes in the water.
You can apply to just about everything, right?
Yep.
Uh-oh. Amanda now requires the montage.
Jenga. Just get splayed out, take out the whole Jenga. Like, fucking Jenga, motherfucker. But you swept the leg.
Sounds like something that they would do on Jackass or one of the other types.
I thought pool would be interesting. Especially if you do it really stealthy enough. The guy just drops on the far side of the table. Bowling, that
would be brutal on bowling.
Yeah.
The perfect timing to sweep the leg is to sweep the head so his head will come down and hit the bowling ball as it passes the body.
Yeah, exactly.
Darts would be dangerous. Yep. A lot of errant darts into the crowd when sweeping the leg during a dart tournament.
But I mean, it would golf out on the golf course. Classic, right? On the
That'd be
putting green.
great. Both putting or the drive. Yep. Very bad in hockey because you just end up just taking yourself out. Now, who do you sweep the leg of in curling, though? Like one of the sweepers, I guess? You got two guys hurrying, guarding, going down, and you just sweep the leg and maybe take them both out?
Or the dude throwing the rock when he's on his descent there to the ice, and you come in behind him and just kind of fucking sweep the leg underneath or fucking rock.
Start pivoting. Yeah, gutter ball.
If you sweep the leg in hockey, it's technically called a PK slew ban.
Yeah, slew footing's bad. Yeah.
That's what he did his last bit of his career.
Be very impressive for volleyball. You just, you got to slide under the net to sweep the leg.
Right? Going up to when they're in the air, you sweep.
While they're in the air. Yeah. So really, you're just doing a roundhouse at the net, right? Just sweep the leg. You guys about to spike it. Yeah. He just spins right in the air. Perfect. Does a full 360. Lands on his feet. Yep. Yeah. Hashtag sweep the leg. So on that note, everybody go out and sweep the leg tonight. No. I do it to the cat once in a while just to piss her off. Well, it's hardwood floors. She has no traction to begin with.
Yeah.
She's very loose in the ass end. She runs around the corner and just it's like watching a 3-year-old try to run in socks on a hardwood floor. It's funny until they start bleeding. That's kind of how it works. So On that note, I think we covered all the topics. We did some geography. We did some history. We talked about pedals, amps, guitars, soda pop, food in general.
Photography, old cars.
Photography.
All this coming up on Sunday.
Yeah, we got Aaron from Elvis Band coming up on Sunday, coming off his gig on Halloween, as well as we'll find out how the EP is coming along. If it's, are we going to hear some songs publicly? Just
Lest
wondering.
we forget, Friday is Remembrance Day.
Friday is
Canada.
Remembrance Day.
It is a stat here in BC, so sorry, you motherfuckers that still got to work. But
Yeah, it was stat for me when I worked for the military, that's for sure.
it is federally in all provinces, but otherwise, yeah, it's subjective.
Thanks,
It's
Keith.
funny. A handful of provinces that don't get the day off.
Yeah.
It's funny because my head office is in Ontario, and they booked me for a job on Friday. I had to reply to the job saying, that's a holiday. All right.
Yeah, I'll do it at time and a half, but it's a holiday.
I don't get overtime.
Ah,
I'll get a hero cookie. I'll jump on a grenade once in a while.
There you go. So, all right. He's been Trev. That's been Terry. I've been Ben. Y'all been y'all. And, excuse me, as always, let the person ahead of you, well, no, hold the doors open first. Then let Amanda in ahead of you in traffic because she doesn't have a driver's license. So, also, it's easier. Doug's wife is real. These are the highlights. You know, those newer to the channel, like, what the hell is he talking about? Watch an old show. It'll make more sense. Yeah, and so I'll be back tomorrow night with Ness, Canucks, myself, Cousin Doug, possibly Keith if he's on the West Coast. If he's in the air, we're not doing that. Because for him to come in onto a live stream while in the air, that can't be cheap. You're using all the air Wi-Fi. And,
Or it'd be like the Mars camera.
Yeah. And everyone's like, why is this guy talking about NASCAR on Tuesday? Like, what? Huh? And he seems to know what he's talking about. You know, he's just talking into the back of the seat in front of him because he's holding out. So, yeah, that should be fun. And then we'll be back again Monday doing this. Only different because we're dressed different because we do laundry.
Yeah.
And you know we do laundry, especially if we're wearing the same thing next week as we are this week. Because we did laundry between. We're not wearing the same thing for a week. So, excuse me, I'm losing my voice. So, all the more reason to wrap things up. Be good to each other, be well, and all that fun
Great
stuff.
show, guys. Always a pleasure hanging out with everybody.
Where's the outro?
Yeah.
Where's the outro?
See you, Dale.
Cheers.